Now we move on to our next news. In a major development, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has pledged his country's unconditional support for Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine. The commitment came during a meeting with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov in the city of Wonsan on Saturday, marking a significant step in the strengthening of military and strategic ties between the two nations. Kim Jong-un expressed his firm belief that Russia will achieve victory in defending its sovereignty and dignity against the Ukrainian crisis. He also emphasized North Korea's readiness to back every measure Russia takes to address what he described as the root cause of the conflict. The visit underscores the growing cooperation between North Korea and Russia, who have deepened their alliance since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. North Korea has already sent more than 10,000 troops and provided artillery shells and missiles to assist Russian forces. In return, Moscow has agreed to send military engineers to help with infrastructure projects in North Korea. In addition to military support, the two leaders discussed increasing economic ties, including new twice-weekly flights between Moscow and Pyongyang. Russia also expressed support for North Korea's sovereignty, as both countries vowed to protect each other's territorial integrity against external pressures. This meeting follows the historic summit between Kim Jong-un and Russian President Vladimir Putin last year, during which the two countries signaled a mutual defense pact. The latest talks in Wonsan signal an even deeper commitment to strengthening military, political, and economic ties between the two nations. Lavrov expresses his gratitude to the leadership of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Here's what he said.
Военнослужащим, солдатам, офицерам, которые продемонстрировали великолепную боевую подготовку и внесли очень важный вклад в справедливое дело освобождения.
Now for this discussion, we are joined by Spencer Critchley. He is communication strategist joining us live from California. Thank you, Spencer, for joining us today. Good to see you. What communication risks or unintended consequences could arise for both Moscow and Pyongyang by so overly aligning on contentious global issues and war on Ukraine?
Both countries have few other choices. One of the problems with being a country like Russia under Putin or North Korea under Kim Jong-un is that the only allies you can find are countries like you, pariah states run by psychopaths. So I'm not sure how much choice they have, really, and it certainly doesn't flatter the reputations of either country to be able to claim, on the one hand, Russia as one of its principal allies, or North Korea as one of its principal allies. Both of them are aggressor states, as I say, run by psychopathic gangsters, and this, rhetoric about defending Russia's dignity against Ukraine, the victim of Russia's murderous invasion, or defending North Korea against the supposed invasion plans of the very nations it threatens with its constant nuclear saber rattling, is of course absurd, but it's the kind of absurdity that totalitarian dictatorships run on.
And Spencer, how does the KCNA's language emphasizing territorial integrity and sovereignty align with broader propaganda goals in both North Korea and Russia from your perspective?
Well, the use of propaganda is interesting in both countries, and this can be traced back to prototypes in the Soviet Union in particular, where the point is not to persuade the public of any kind of coherent argument, whether you might agree with that argument or not. The point is to destroy the concept that coherence is even possible. The outrageous, contraventions of the truth, the construction of a mirror world in which Russian aggression against civilians and against even children is cast as them being the victims of aggression. Or again, North Korea, perhaps the most repressive state in the world, that's constantly boasting of its emerging nuclear capability and posing, demonstrating threats towards its neighbors, as well as claiming to threaten the United States. The sheer outrageousness of the claims is part of the plan. It's supposed to, as I say, destroy any confidence that there could be such a thing as truth, and what replaces facts or logic as the foundation of truth is raw power. And backing that up is the, not just willingness, but eagerness to use extreme violence against their own citizens and maintain a state of terror to keep the dictators in charge. So as I say, it's a special use of propaganda that was pioneered by Stalin in the Soviet Union, by Hitler in Nazi Germany. And as I say, the idea is to destroy the concept of truth and to replace it with just raw power. Whereas the other propaganda efforts, if there's anything to recommend them, at least they are often operating within some kind of context in which respect for facts and logic is high enough that people at least try to lie convincingly. But at this point, in this case, the point is to lie completely unconvincingly and just convince people that the only option they have is to submit.
Thank you very much, Spencer, for joining us today.